All right. Welcome, everyone, to Video Game Collectors Podcast number 7. We have the special episode today. I am your guest host, Matt Rose.
Josh Byerly.
And today we have a special guest, Andrew Morgan. Say hi if you'd like.
Hi, that's me. This guy. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to have you. Andrew is a old NAer, as we like to say. We also went by AcidJaguar and still currently goes by AcidJaguar on NintendoAge.net.
Still does acid too, I think.
Still does acid.
I plead the fifth. I will never admit anything on public television.
So we're glad to have you, and he's got
thanks for having me.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff in a different niche than I know that I personally collected, and I'm excited to see a lot of what he has, a lot of what he's going to talk about, and then maybe just give us a rundown. You know, I'm personally curious, how did you get started in collecting, and you know, kind of when did you start getting collecting?
Yeah, well, so it's been since probably 2004 for me.
Wow.
I kind of started with just wanting to get an old Nintendo back and playing Josh's favorite game, Super Mario Brothers 3, over and over and over. And then I was living in Spokane at the time, and then I moved to Seattle. And one day I was working and just checking Craigslist for anything that might pop up, and I saw an ad for a giant stack of Nintendo Power magazines, and it was like $100. I saw 2 premieres and like multiple copies of the first 50 to 60 issues, it looked like. And so I jumped on it, and I was really excited. And I went down and met this guy in a van, and it turned out that he was an old game counselor, and he just wanted to get rid of everything he had. And I probably accumulated the first probably 80 issues of Nintendo Power in triplicate, maybe 4 or 5 sets of each. Some old counselor copies. He gave me his old binders, his old training manuals, a stack of guides, and I spent probably 3 days looking through all of that and was just like, I am done. I am gone. I need to do this forever. And I just kind of jumped full bore and always been really interested more in the paper side of things and not necessarily the game side. I started collecting more seriously on NES for a while, and then when I got married in 2013, I ended up kind of just selling off all my games.
Oh, wow.
And keeping all of this because it was a little more special to me. So it's been a crazy journey. I mean, I was on NA since 2006 and moderated there for, 2008 till the close of it, pretty much, I think.
Wow.
I don't even remember what that was like. Yeah, that was a long time. So.
And it started back in what, 2005, 2006?
06.
06, yeah, because
Wow.
I think I came on board like later in 2006, so I was not realizing, I came on to just show off this giant paper lot I found, and and then everybody was, so welcoming, and I stuck around and met some great people and developed some great relationships, and just really kind of went after it, and have found some really weird stuff over the course of collecting. So.
Wow. So you mainly got rid of a lot of the game part, but you never got rid of any of the paper stuff.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I kind of focused on a lot of old NES, SNES, Game Boy. I've got a decent little Sega set, but try to go from everything from game counselor stuff to guides to a rather large newsletter collection from all the different publishers, and just kind of kept growing to different things, media kits, press kits, promotional stuff, NWC stuff, thanks to Josh a little bit there. He gave me a nice little present that you probably don't want to see anymore. But
What
what you gave me? Yeah,
a flyer.
you gave me a signed flyer, and then I've got the ticket stub from Oklahoma, and
Oh, you ended up with the
and
ticket stub.
like a press pass, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was like
Damn. I forgot. Oh man. Okay.
yeah.
It's gonna remind you.
Oh yeah. So that was like the best
Yeah, that's cool.
VIP, right?
hmm
That's what you thought of me, I'm sure.
Good looking gentleman. Yeah. Better than Pamela Anderson. So.
Oh, good old Pam. She's hard to beat. Thank you.
Sweetheart.
Those were the days.
Those are the days.
Those are, yeah. I don't have that sealed copy of VIP anymore, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's cool stuff, man.
Wow.
I've always picked up and shoved random paper like you collect in a very disorganized way in my room. And I've never gone through it or organized it to the extent that it appears you have. And it's kind of sad, but whenever I have a paper question or, have you seen this or where's this from, or do you have this? I always ask Andrew, and Andrew just whips it out and shows me like a good guy. The paper
I try
stuff.
The paper.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
At first, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a skin deep sort of situation. So
I wasn't sure if we were referring back to the old NA days.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
man,
maybe.
yeah, I know. Yeah, they still got the inner circle of trust.
Yeah.
There were actually some guys in one of the chats earlier that were saying we needed to go back to the dick pics,
That's right. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Dick pics
Every
for
time
games.
I see that cart, I always
Oh,
can't
man,
get
it's
the image out of my head.
fun game. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Pretty sure it's a photo of Joel.
is that, yeah, I know. I always kind of wondered. I mean, Joel is so mysterious in his or her way, so we'll never know.
Do I see you got Thor to sign that?
Yeah.
Yep, so this is a Thor copy, yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you-
He had a few, and back in 2000. Oh God, 2000 something or other.
When he
Yeah, it was late. I think it was late first decade, and he kind of came back around and was selling off a lot of his collection.
Well, these were new old stock, and he had some.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
he signed a handful of them. I sold a few for him on eBay, and he
Mhm.
let me keep a couple, and I think that's where you ended up with it. So,
Yep, I think
I have one. Everybody's like, "I'll give you a lot of money." I'm like, "I got a few. Here you go." It wasn't like
I
I wanted to make money on these things, and it was fun. And I like that people who really appreciate paper ended up with a few of those. So I always forget where they went, but they came directly from Thor. So those are cool pieces. So
Wow.
yeah, Thor's a good dude.
So
He seemed like a great guy.
what is this Deja Vu that we're looking at? What are we?
So this is the old NES Deja Vu mail away hint book that you could get. It was funny because a lot of the old NES stuff, you really just had to send them money blindly, and then they would send you these books. And so the Chemco Sika group did the Deja Vu. They've got a Shadowgate, and then the Uninvited hint books as well.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of that nice smaller size.
Now,
I would say out of the three, this seems to be kind of the more hard to find.
yeah, and you and I were talking about that, and we were like, "Oh, this is an easy one to find, right?" And all of a sudden, we were like, "Oh, wait, no, it's the harder one to find." And Uninvited and Shadowgate seem to be the easy ones.
It was very strange because like back when I was really pursuing the NES set, the Deja Vu and the Shadowgate seemed to be the easier ones to find.
That's what I thought too.
Uninvited was like the harder one to get, but now
Yeah.
it seems like maybe everyone just tossed their Deja Vus because they're like, this is trash.
Hey,
So,
guess what? We probably just remembered it differently. You know,
but,
it was
yeah.
kind of like deja vu.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wait, that's not
actually,
deja vu.
no, it's not. We were just, yeah. It must have been the acid. No, we were just tripping out there.
Shit.
Yeah, and this
I thought it was funny.
the Shadowgate actually was. I don't know if you guys know Speedy NES, but we talk a lot, and
Yeah, man. Yeah.
there's a Swedish version of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That he helped me get. I think I've got it. Where is it? Yeah. So it's just like, it's kind of strange because it's kind of the only one that we found
What?
that is legitimately in Swedish, and it's the same book, same style, kind of same everything.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I got to see what I got back here. Now
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Because it's very similar, but you can see just the logo. Obviously, Tip's book is missing. And oh, what does that say? Oh, is that
Swedish?
Nice.
Yeah. So I got this from a really cool Swedish dude, and you know, the Swedes seem to have a really interesting, unique niche market for their own region. And I was blown away when he sent me this as part of a trade. And the manual even has a Swedish code on it. It's pretty cool. So Shadowgate probably was like this big thing there, and so they made a hint book for it. I don't know if there was other versions by Kemco with that, but I do specifically remember him saying, "Oh yeah, here's a Swedish version of Shadowgate in the trade." So
yeah, and talking with Peter a little bit on it, and we've kind of tried to search it out, but we haven't found any other of this trilogy of these smaller, hint books. So,
yeah, I'll ask him. His name on Instagram is NES CIB LAN or something. NES Siblin. I don't know how to say it. Maybe that's not it. But he's a really good guy. His name's Per.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've talked to him. Yeah, you traded some shit.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, good dude. One of the cool guys that I've met internationally that is like, what do you got to trade? Actually, I need to get back to him on something.
Yes, you should get back to him.
Yeah.
I may or may not have talked to him this morning.
What? Are you trying to get my Devil World?
I might have saw that Devil World, but no, you're good. I'm not.
Son of a bitch.
Well, you better say something before I air this.
I will. I'll send. He's probably awake right now. So,
yeah, he's usually responsive. Well, actually, you get up early enough to check eBay at 4, so you can talk to him then.
Yeah, I'll send him a message.
Technology, man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So me not knowing anything about these, so you had to send money, and then they just sent you a tip book. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are kind of multiple ones out there. Probably one of the crazier ones.
Back in the day, we did this all by mail, not by.
Yep. Just straight by mail. Yep.
Yeah, they'd send you just the tip book.
They would send you just the tip. And then you have to book a hotel to meet them to get.
Oh, that kind of payment. Oh, okay. No wonder it's
it was a
little off color.
This is.
I wasn't sure where we were going tonight.
Oh no, you can go wherever you want to go.
Yeah, tell us about.
That was a fun game, by the way. Millions. I liked it.
So this is probably one of the, I would say, the top 3 hardest to acquire mail-aways from the NES set. I think that there was actually an incredibly rare map that came with this book, and I probably shouldn't say it because I don't have a full one. I found one on a poor listing that was like 2/3 complete, but I missed one while I was in the restroom one morning, and I was really mad. But that was back in like 2007. I mean, it was
oh wow,
so long ago. But yeah, I mean, it's such a waiting game on some of these pieces that it's crazy to think about.
Well, maybe you'll get the opposite effect, and maybe someone will hear that you need that, and they'll reach out to you,
Please.
and you
I'll
can
give
get it
you
that way.
hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that.
Now tell me it's a map that's the rare part of this book, because now the cat's out of the bag. So
Yeah, I mean, the map is, I have a partial that I could probably find, but
yeah.
I think I know one fellow collector that got that listing. It was just like brand new map, brand new book.
Now, is the map attached to this book in any way, or is it just came like
slipped
here's
in
the
there.
book, here's the map, throw it in the envelope, Hudson Soft, figure it out. Okay.
Wow.
Is the map big enough to fit in with the game, or is it
It
oversized?
is. It's like a typical fold out, like any poster in the game.
Oh, okay. So, like, I think of things like that. Maybe people just have it sitting in their collection and they think, hey, this is part of the game specific insert that came with Islands. And, I think about stuff like that all the time. And I've never found anything really cool that way, but it very well just could be sitting on someone's shelf in their collection.
Well, and that's exactly how I found it. It was just listed with a game randomly. Let's see if I have it right here now, but no, I don't.
So people who are listening, the 35 of you out there, go and look at your copies.
Go look. If you have it, please message me. Oh, here it is.
Actually, send it to me.
Send it to Josh.
So I can show Andrew that I have it.
And then I will drive to his house because I know where he lives.
Yeah, you know where my mom lives.
I will forcefully, yeah. I mean, she's thinking about moving out here, actually. So I don't know if I can get this all at the same time, but you'll see. It's a dead giveaway. If you ever see it, you'll know. And you can thank me later for actually showing part of this. But,
that's sick.
So, unfortunately, I don't know what you can see here, but
you can
see
see
part of it's missing, but
yeah,
it's yellow, so it's hard to miss.
I guarantee you someone out there who has this game CIB on their shelf has this map and they're just thinking it's part of the set.
Yep. And that happened to I remember one guy that came to me and he's like, we were posting about the book and he had ordered just a listing off Amazon that was CIB and it just came with this book not an instruction manual. So he thought it was the manual for the book for like the game. And I was like, can I buy it? I'll take it, give it up. But he's in Chicago. He just kind of disappeared. I don't know where he ever went, but I've only seen about 5 or 6 of these. So the book, not the map. The map I've seen too.
Now, did Nintendo Power ever come out with a map as well to just kind of?
I don't believe they ever did a Millen's map in particular as like a fold out for a poster, but
okay.
I think of these games that deserved it with the game, and that's definitely one that would have been helpful. And these games were so hard when we were kids, and maybe they still are today. They're like impossible. You have to draw out the maps. You have to figure out where to go. You play a game like Solomon's Key, and that game is hard as shit. And I'm not gonna lie, you need a hint map of sorts to play that game. And the first release of that game, all it came with was a poster. And subsequent releases, Tecmo was like, oh, we got to do something here because this game is too hard for kids. And so they added a second type of insert and changed from the map to this map insert and like the no rev, no hang tab boxes. And then from there on, that's where they use that instead of that big, cool fold out Tecmo poster. But I figured that out by just buying a bunch of those games and having extra inserts and trying to like the poster comes with the hang tab and then also the map. No, wait, if I shove all these inserts in here, it doesn't quite seem right. So I started looking at other CIBs on eBay, and that's kind of what I figured out, I think, at that point. But the maps are cool. I love it.
Yeah, I love the maps are, to me, what it's all about. I mean, it's stuff you just don't get. I mean, on some of the counselor stuff that I have, they're hand-drawn maps that somebody was just playing through and just like straight up filling out graph paper or making these little scribbles on a piece of paper, and then that became essentially the guide for them to use when they talked everybody through it and charged
I think
a ton of money.
a bit of nostalgia that I like out of all of this is when I buy a CIB, and inside the CIB, even if it's not an NES game, but I find it a lot in old PC games, is somebody has taken the time to draw out a map or draw out how to play the game, and it's almost like I can't, if I'm going to sell the game, I always include it, but I never add it in the pictures because I'm like, oh, this is just more shit that somebody doesn't want to see, but I'm never tossing it. But yeah, there's ones where kids write codes on it, or they draw out the grid for Mega Man 2 and what code you need to type in with the dots, so it's really cool. That sort of thing is just totally endearing to me to see how kids played games back in the day, because I did the same thing. I would write codes down on whatever piece of paper was nearest to me at the time. And in some cases you see codes like written on the inside flap of a box when you get a box, and people are like, oh, it's ruined. I'm like, no, that's probably the coolest shit in the world. I have a Tyson like that. You open it, it has the code written on the top to play Mike Tyson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's great.
I love that sort of shit. Maybe I'm in the minority, but it just adds a little extra value of how loved this stuff was and still is. So
no, it's great to find those little goodies. Like I've kept slivers of paper just that are that. It's I don't consider it trash by any means.
No,
it's like a little diving into somebody's old childhood of how they played the game, how they kept track of how they made progress. Because I mean, how expensive that tip code line was. Like,
yeah,
that was way expensive for people that didn't live in Seattle.
Yeah, that's why you get one of your friends to call, or somebody would call them and trade the codes on the bus, man. That's what we did. So,
Andrew, have you gone up and toured the old Nintendo facility? I know they built a new one next to it, but they still have the old facility, and you can if you get in touch with the right person, you can get in, and they still have all the old cubicles set up, and they have like the drawings of all the kids sent in. They've kept them all, and they're all posted in the building around. Yeah. I can.
I have not.
Did you just? I've never heard that.
I got a tour. I played golf with a guy randomly here, and I have his business card still. And he was one of the kind of like the middle manager level. And he said, hey, if you ever want a tour, come on up. And I was like, okay, I'll actually take you up on that. And he walked me through the entire facility, the new and then the old. And they still had all the cubicles. They had all the drawings. And he's like, we really value these drawings that all us kids sent into them. And they kept them all. They're all on the walls. It's
awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I've never had that opportunity. But.
I did not know that, but that's pretty cool. Maybe it's just a golfing buddy sort of tour thing, Matt.
Maybe I can ask him, and if anybody wants to get hooked up with that, maybe I can finagle him into giving another tour.
Maybe you'll never golf with him again because
maybe he doesn't work there anymore. Maybe he got fired for taking me in there.
That's really cool.
I've got a mutual connection at Nintendo that I would probably just see if I could ask to go next time I go back.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've been back. But.
It didn't seem too locked down, like you couldn't go in there, but you definitely had to know somebody that worked there. If anybody gets that opportunity, I would definitely. It's like walking back into late 80s, early 90s in there. It's pretty sweet. But I know since you collect the paper, I mean, I figured you would appreciate that.
That'd be crazy just to see. Cause I mean, I remember vividly all the envelopes and just like the contest stuff that people would try to send in to win, and I love it. I mean, I'm very much a minority when I think about how many of us that I know that are like this deep in the game, and there's only about 4 or 5 of us that or at least public about it. I mean, I hope that there's others, but a lot of people aren't really showing this side of the hobby for sure.
You're absolutely right. I don't think anybody is. I'm not deep in it like you guys are, but I have so much of this stuff that I need to put in some sort of organization to see what I have and see.
Envelope and send it over.
What's that?
Just put it in an envelope and send it over.
You'll be very disappointed when it is. You'll be like, "What the hell did Josh save this?" I do actively buy Famicom handbills though as paper. I think those are freaking rad. But that's like a total offshoot thing, and I end up buying like 4 or 5 at a time because somebody posts about them somewhere. I'm like, oh, I don't want to. I need to go buy one of these, because it's awesome. And then I end up buying 5, and then I'll take like a break for 2 years where I don't buy something, and then I'll buy 5, and then so over the years I've accumulated like 15 to 20 of them. So I think those are really neat, and they're Japanese only, but really cool.
What are they? The Famicom? What are they?
They're handbills. They're like little posters of like promoting the game. So they have like Mario one, and if you just type in handbill Famicom on eBay.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen the family decal sets that they did?
Maybe
the family computer ones. These are some of my favorites, and they're stickers. Let's start with this. And so they're like sticker sheets. Have you ever seen these before?
Mm-mm.
And so they're all just little individual decals that they had all the different. It kind of came as a set. So you can see there's number 3. First one's Donkey Kong.
Huh.
Kong Jr.
So they're like the covers
little
of the game.
placards, and you can peel all of these come off as stickers.
That's interesting. It looks like something you picked up at Hot Topic.
It does. No, it really does. I think it came with the
Sorry.
No, it's honestly, it came with that family computer. I believe it's like the little re-release that they did.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
It's the Famicom history book.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I haven't seen those.
Right.
Those are
they're right in the corner there. I don't know if you can see it really well, but they're a fun little set. Just, if you're ever like making art or whatever, these would be great to just kind of use. They go through pretty much all the black box titles.
Yeah. Do they have like the weird Donkey Kong games that weren't released here on it all? Or are they just the...
No, it's all, this feel like this one though. This has Double World on it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I love that game. That is a cool game.
Mostly the reason I bought it was for just a Zelda kind of guy. So, but they're really cool. They're just like kind of, if you like to mess around with sprites and stuff, this would be a good one for you. So, yeah, it's just random stuff that you just kind of find. You guys are searching like News Field every minute of the day, and I'm like, Nintendo book. What do I find? There's a lot, but sometimes you just stumble upon some weird listing. I'm like, huh.
Now, do you collect things that are surrounded within the collecting space, like old guides, or for collectors that are designated, say the digital press guides, and things that people might not necessarily deem as like, oh, this is vintage and cool and part of the history, but the collecting aspect of it, for how long people have been doing it now, there is really cool history to like those guides, I feel like, or the old fanzines and stuff like that, because I've picked up stuff like that here and there, and I think it's great, interesting reads about the perspective of collecting.
I have like an old Digipress book. I never quite got the different versions. I think I have the blue cover somewhere around here.
Yeah, they're cool. I only have the red cover, and that was like my Bible when I started collecting.
Yeah, they were great resources, especially building the library and just seeing what you could really find. Like, I love those, like the old comic system collections. I don't know if you ever got one of those.
Mm-mm.
That was pretty interesting to see. It was like the old hardbound. Let's see if I can pull it out here. Oh,
Don't hurt yourself.
no, this is like the best of Nintendo comics.
Oh, well, I have
So
some
it's
of the
like a
Nintendo comics.
hardbound book.
Hardbound
Yeah.
book.
And it's got like the sticker, right? Because they made those cards that had the yellow backs, the stickers there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're auctioning off some of the original drawings for those, aren't they? In the next upcoming Heritage or something.
I didn't know that.
Did someone see it? I saw that somewhere, but I never got any of the newer books yet. I think my latest one that I couldn't resist was, I don't know if you're a fan. I can't even like put this on the little one because it's so big. It's the bitmap book of the Game Boy cover art.
Yeah, I've seen those books before, but
gigantic.
I've heard they're pretty well laid out and nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they gave me a digital copy, so I'm like, that thing is just massive. But
well, I'm the weird dude that buys comic books that have video game ads in it because of the video game ad, not the comic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, what ads are in this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So
that's what it's all about. There's some crazy, because I know I've talked through with Frank a little bit. We had a good conversation, Red Eye, and just looking at some of the stuff that I had that was, promoting these games that never went out.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really see that kind of stuff in the day to day. It's just stuff you randomly find on a list of available games, even though it's not even real. That was pretty interesting to talk with him about that. But the old ads, they're great. I mean, there's nothing like it. I bought an issue of Nintendo Power just because I wanted the last cover of it. It was just like a really sweet Killer Instinct cover, and that's what got me. Like, I don't really care, but I was like, this is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just the last issue cover of, your subscription was about to end, so they would just put these random covers on. And I went down a rabbit hole one day and just kind of documented as many as I could. And there is kind of a pattern, but there's like a span of them where they're just like random weird art like this, or like a man with a child on the cover, just like
now tell me,
it's like, I don't know.
In your documentation of weird stuff like this, have you documented the random order or not so random order of how the cards were attached inside the Nintendo Powers?
I have not personally, but somebody came forward with their theory on that. I saw there was a thread on VGS that came up with a lot of like the different spans of issues and which cards were prevalent to those particular ones, and then after a certain issue, you kind of got the later one. I
have met people who will buy different Nintendo Powers based on what cards are inside of them. So they're probably within your group of 5 people. But I think it's fantastic, right? Like, you're buying this because you're a super awesome variant.
Well, we talked about it. Yeah,
I've dabbled a little bit in that myself, and in doing so, I have like 5 different issues of one Nintendo Power or something.
Well, this is why my wife probably says I'm a little crazy, but like, this is the one, Josh. This is
the Dwight Howard special.
This is the issue 251 with the Wii lenticular card, and I found 10 different cards between just hounding eBay for a couple months.
What does one of the cards look like? Can I see? There's like a subscriber issue and a newsstand issue too, right?
Correct. Yeah. So there's this is the newsstand is this one,
with the orange ugliness.
Yeah. So many would say, and I kind of agree, that the newsstands were better quality for sure than the subscriber issues here. But for example, let's see. Good one. So in the issue is this Tatsunoko Capcom fighting game. So you can see it's a pair of the characters from the game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's a totally unmemorable game.
Oh
too.
no, exactly. Yeah, this is trash, but it's great because I've found 10 different ones that are just different characters, and there might be one or two more, but
Are those cards part of a bigger set that were released as like a playing card game, or?
Not that I've seen. Essentially, it's just a card. The back does have some information, but I'm not taking them out of it. So if I find a cheap double, then I'll take it out. But
I'm interested now. So
yeah,
I probably have a copy.
Buy one. You could probably get one for like 8 to 10.
Yeah, and do you have like the weird? I'm sure you do. The weird ones where they throw in like the Pokemon cards and stuff. Like isn't there an Eon ticket one and
there's an Eon ticket
like
in
Pikachu one or something?
Yep. There's Pikachu, like a Me Too. They did a lot of Pokemon promotions in the old Nintendo Powers, the comics, playing like there's a trading card mat, I believe. Just there's a lot of cool stuff. Like I had made that list with some friends that really went through every issue and documented what the inserts were, the posters, the cover, all of the good stuff that's inside for people that were really trying to do a truly, complete in book set.
The book. That's a CIB.
It's CIB.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Get out of here. So yeah, I mean it's a weird thing and I know it, and I'm just one of a few that just have this burning desire to pan through paper. I always thought it'd be fun to make a podcast kind of like this where I get a nice like high back velvet chair, a smoking robe, a little pipe, and just like the fireside's going and we're just reading some books together. I know Josh would be my number one subscriber.
Yeah, it wouldn't be for the book content. It would be for the cigar smoking and a velvet.
And some ginger. Yeah.
The ambiance.
Daywalker out here. Yeah, that's why you live in Montana.
Man. Yeah, it's perfect climate for holding all this paper. A little dry, don't have any moisture in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's been a fun journey for sure.
Yeah, as far as I guess grails, I hate that word. Yes,
I know.
I don't hate the word grails. I just like, for you personally, what is your item that you are the most obsessed with? You have.
I mean, I would say I would probably classify it into two categories of like true 1 or 2 off type things. I posted, I don't have it. I would probably say the number, it's a 2-part question for me. So the number 1, as far as rarity, another word that I'm not too keen on. Of course, it's not going to just show up in my stack here, but it would be the Wall Street Kid tip sheet, which was probably one of 2 that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
For original NES. And then, recently I did purchase probably my most desired grail, or I call them like more of like a white whale, because they just don't show up. And it would be, I posted it up on Facebook. I haven't really made an Instagram post on it. I need to change my Instagram name probably, but would be this guy, which you've seen. So this was essentially the pre-production pitch book set. It's a 4-volume set. I mean, it's giant. If you look at, like, there's the Nolan book, and I can't even fit the whole thing in the picture. But it was a 4-volume set that rare when they started in the UK, put together as like a nice quality material to pitch the game Battletoads for original Nintendo.
Wow.
And they took the time to like write these different volumes that are all hardback. The Battletoads books, so essentially, they went through, they made this introduction book that talks about essentially the product, the people behind it. And what was pretty interesting about this was like they sold it as like a virtual reality game, like you were part of the headspace of like in this VR world, and you would become these essentially one of these toads, Pimple, Zit, and Rash, brains, brawn, and good looks. So
Is that part of the whole idea that you go down this, I don't want to call it rabbit hole, but I guess it does have a Alice in Wonderland sort of feel to the game, you know, and you're inside a brain. Is that the whole idea?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like this artificial reality theme to the game, and it, like they described it more as like you're becoming these people virtually, and you see through their eyes rather than you're like playing this game. You're like, they're not pitching a game, they're pitching this like crazy virtual idea where they go in, they put these headsets on, and you become these toads.
Interesting.
It's a really cool take on just like how you would present it. But they kind of just give the overview and the introduction, introduce some of the characters. Just kind of, there's some great art in here as you go through it.
Fantastic, man. That art is beautiful.
It just gets better and better. I mean, we could probably talk about this for 4 hours if we wanted, but
yeah,
goes over the characters and just kind of everything there. They've trademarked everything already. And
what a cool franchise. Battletoads is so hard, man. I played that.
Oh.
I could get to the third level. I never think I got past Battletoads in the third level. And maybe they took an idea like when you play Ninja Turtles on NES, you can get to the third level, but you can't get past the third fucking level.
Nope.
Pardon my language, but
that's
exactly so annoying. Yeah, the sewer.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand it.
No, but that's like, don't you feel like that's kind of how Battletoads is similar in that way? You get to the third level of Battletoads on the speeder bikes, and you're like,
speeder bikes.
I can't beat this.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just I wasn't as good at video games as I thought I was.
But they made a great, one of my favorite art guide is the battle book they made for this game. I don't know if either of you have this, but
whoa,
it's like a really awesome strategy guide, and it covers. If we look at it, it's got the Rare, right? So the Rare was the company, and then Trade West was who made it. But this covers. So it's covering the original NES Genesis version, then Battle Maniacs, and then Battletoads Double Dragon. So it's a great. This was actually from that game counselor. He gave me this book. I mean, he gave me like every official Nintendo Power strategy guide. This book, Star Wars, there's so many great books that he gave me, but this has a layout, right, of the speeder bike stage. If you're looking at it.
That would have been helpful.
It would have been helpful, but yeah, I wasn't really. And it's published by Prima. It's an old Prima book.
That's really cool. I've never seen that book.
But I definitely recommend. It's
a good read.
Great art. It's a nice thick. You can see how thick it is.
Look at that. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she asked.
Flipping, buddy. But
yeah, that'd go right next to my my son also rises in the natural books on my bookshelf of favorite books, I'm sure.
Oh, nice. Yeah, check it out. There's a couple copies around, but so then the second volume just kind of gets into characters. It really does a lot of the art and everything, introduces them, their backstory. Just a really cool. I think I sent you a picture right of the Silicon Valley dude riding his Harley, and
dude, I want one of these books.
It's this is, I mean, like I said, I spent hours just kind of looking through this.
Yeah, that'd be a double-edged sword in
God,
my house.
but
My kids would see this and be like, "I
yeah.
can color this."
Yeah.
Start coloring it.
You gotta be careful. Yeah, I know. You just be like, oh. And then one of my favorites would be the merchandise book. I mean, it's like a beautiful. They really just like pitched the crap out of this. Came up with like the movie, casted movie characters. This would be a little. Came up with like cassette tapes, LPs, CDs.
Wow.
All
These
this merch.
guys were all in, man. They're like,
Oh yeah,
we gotta
it's
fight
crazy.
these Ninja Turtles with Battletoads.
Oh yeah, no, it was right at that time, right? It was just like because this was 91-ish, right?
Yeah, you know, you look back on this and this franchise, it's too bad it did not get bigger at the time. It's so cool. It's such a neat franchise, and this art book is insane.
It's just like such a. It's
oh my god!
Weird, like they came up with, I mean, every little thing. If I can find one, oh yeah, like cooking aprons. I could see you wearing that. Like, who thinks of this? I mean, it's like some of the weirdest stuff that you could see. Some great shirts, jackets, and bomber jackets. Like this. Just straight up, like no holds barred. It's so great.
They didn't make any of that, did they?
No, there's none of this made it to reality. But
well, sure it's so, you know, you showed me some pictures earlier of the whatever that word was, that foul word.
Oh right, yeah.
You know, it was so crude then when it was made, and it was like this. The names of the people were Pimple and Zit and Rash, right? Like, just not necessarily kid-friendly sort of game, right? And I think about this, and then you go on. There was one that I played, and I think it was arcade only, and it was extremely violent. And there was like just people were like exploding, if I recall. Isn't there an arcade game of this?
There is.
Battletoads.
Yep, there is an arcade game of this. Yep.
Yeah, what a cool game. It's like somewhere in a mix between Ninja Turtles and Toxic.
Yeah, no,
Crusader.
Exactly. I would totally agree with that. It's just such a
Barbie doll.
You can get a Battletoads.
I wanted to find they made these like straight up play sets. There was like a really good they had bedroom sets. I was fine. I mean, there it is. Yeah. It's a bathroom set actually on the bottom.
I love that.
Your bathroom.
They were all in.
Weird. Yeah, they were pot committed.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, like it was a great franchise. So
yeah, Andrew, you need to just make a YouTube video where you take your all your books and turn the page slowly.
Just go.
And then people can hit pause and read the shit.
Just real silent.
By the fire.
Yeah, by the fire.
Just two cameras set up so you can see that you're the person turning the pages.
It's
we can do it.
The soundtrack is just the crackling of the wood in the background.
You can do that because you have an endless supply of wood in Montana.
I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got my wood permit for $5. I could go chop some wood. It's what I do in my spare time, you know. Living in Montana, you just chop wood and hunt.
Park down at the supermarket and sell your truck of wood for $15.
Yeah.
Go unload it for somebody.
Like a nice cord of wood. But so this is the storybook, and they like legitimately wrote a story. And this thing is giant. I mean, it's like almost 50,000 word story of like the story of Battletoads. It is. I can't even like begin to start on this one.
So are you gonna get the publishing rights to this and publish it for the masses?
Oh, that would be epic.
That would be pretty amazing. Yeah, if I could. I'm sure there's someone I could talk to. I don't know if I could, because I mean, right? Because Rare turned into Rareware, and then Rareware. Are they still around? Do they go away? So,
wow.
Yeah. So back to the original question. This is probably my
Grail.
New number one. Yeah. I was ecstatic to get it. It got lost in transit for about 3 weeks. Got real nervous there for a while, and then it showed up. So
I'm happy that it showed up. That's
like the one package. I must send thousands of packages, and this was the one that just kind of fell through the cracks. So.
If you ever get a line on another one, I would love.
I bet if we did some really hard digging in the archives of the crashed version, there's probably someone I could find.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably search my mail.
So you think there's more than one of those?
I've seen a second one for sure.
Oh,
yeah, we were kind of talking when the whole thing crashed here. That was my question. Did they make more, and what was the purpose of it? Like to send to publishers? But I don't think Andrew answered it really.
No, I think that it was. I don't know. I just don't know the exact history of the book, but I know that it essentially was what they made internally, either to go and find people, or like Josh's theory, right? They sent it out to these different publishers to see who bit and took the job.
Yeah.
But
wow,
I just have like a really weird history of all of my old NA messages. I kind of just logged them all, and I was hoping I maybe just find it. But
you know who also has that is Dennis, and he'll send me random text messages and be like, "Hey, look what you wrote to me back in 2010." I'm like, man, I would have got arrested.
Yeah, I know, right? It was a different time back then. I mean, you see it in some of these books. You're just like, how did they get away with this?
Like, there's context to all this, but man, these are just, if somebody was just reading this.
maybe that's why they didn't re-release a lot of the NA conversations and databases.
Because the real reason why Dave got rid of the site, So.
Yeah, they're like, just let this die.
Man, I was looking at the Go Collect site. There's like this huge disdain for everything, and Video Game Sage. I don't really go on there, but those people are not happy people. I just like removed myself completely. I'm not happy that Nintendo Age is gone. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I don't need this negativity in my life, and
no, you just gotta leave it behind.
There's great people on there. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I went and read Go Collect, and it is mean.
Well, yeah,
and they don't delete the post.
No, there's nobody.
Nobody's watching this.
It's too bad.
Some guys in there is like, F you, Dane. I'm like, my God, there's like major disdain. I get it. Like, people were on there working and building the site, and it was a labor of love for a lot of people, and they all felt, this attachment to it because they put a bunch of their life and their hobby into this. It was their hobby, and they love doing it. So, yeah, it's too bad.
Well, the truth of it is whoever owns the site, they can do whatever they, want. And that's kind of what you have to remember when you sign up for something like that, is it can go down.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we don't ever do that with ours, but it's so small now, it'd be like you wouldn't even.
You paid well in advance. I'm sure it was cheap.
Yeah.
No, NintendoAge.net, Andrew, come on.
I know. I was joking with Matt that I'm actually a moderator on that site.
Are you not a moderator on there?
No, I made him a moderator. I had to talk him into it. He's like, well, I'm kind of busy. And I'm like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything.
Then I will take the position. Thank you.
Yeah, just don't let in the spam bots. That's it.
Nobody's found it yet.
Yeah, Josh is like, should I let these guys in? I'm like, no.
I was like, more members. Look at this. This guy.
I know.
Names you can't pronounce at weird domain names. Do not let them in that are not even .com. They're like .safari or no.
.xyz.
Yeah, don't let those in, please.
.ru. What's going on here?
You'll have a lot of posts real quick.
Yeah, that's a cool book, Andrew. My favorite book that I have is My Adventures. I don't have it here. I can reach to anything in my room and seem to pull it out, but I don't have the book here that I'd show. It's The Adventures of Lolo, hint book.
Oh, yep.
That
Would you
maybe
like
you
to
have
see
it.
it?
That's my
Of course I
favorite
have it.
mail
I
away
have
sort of thing.
all three.
All three. Yeah. I like the first one because that's the only one I have apparently. So
Because
Can't
the
believe
second
that.
one was that kind of fan made one, right? That guy came on and did like a fan made version, but the
Hmm.
original was
yeah, that's it in all its glory.
Wow.
It's crazy how many of the original NES books were just like super tiny. Like
Mhm.
these are all what 6x4s, right? I mean, 8 by
8x5, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But the Lolo 3 book was great. And then I have the game counselor guides for these too, and they're just like pages of just hand drawn maps. They're crazy.
Do you have a game counselor guide nearby? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know that I've ever seen one other than maybe in a random YouTube video or something.
I wish they would have kept this franchise going.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
It's so good.
so this is kind of, I was working with Christian and Steven, and we kind of put together a cumulative list of all the guides that we had found in our different game counselor collections. And
Nice.
this, I mean, if you look at this thing, right, it's just a binder full of, actually, I don't even know if it's in this one. I have to look up. But it's all, there's Lagoon.
Because didn't they break the counselors up to handle X amount of games per counselor? So they weren't, or did they all?
Essentially, they had a system that had like everything at their fingertips type thing, so they could look it up eventually. I think in the early days, they did have more like kind of specialized.
Okay.
That's the wrong book.
I'd love to hear some of those game counselor stories, one day.
I have a.
I'm curious if they ever got calls for like Tengen games. You're like,
yeah.
How do you do this in Super Sprint?
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? We don't know.
Wrong number. Yeah.
Wrong number.
You gotta call Atari, mother effer.
So here's for Lolo 2.
Oh man.
And you can see how just barbaric it is a little bit. But they made their own like key. You can see who it belonged to up here. It was Lee Douglas.
Ooh, was that your guy?
My guy's name was John.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And,
you still talk to John?
I don't. He kind of ghosted me after we left the parking lot that day.
It's pretty common for when you meet some dude on Craigslist. You meet a John on Craigslist. They just don't.
We met at the Starbucks headquarters parking lot in his white van.
In a van.
You met a John in a white van.
In a van.
Yeah.
That's pretty common for you, Andrew.
I mean, I don't know what attracts them to me, but But as you can see,
they paid you in game counselor binders.
They did, yeah. That was a big debt, man. This is just the Lolo 2, and I separated everything out just because I don't want the stables to ruin everything. But
make me some copies, bro. I'm kidding.
I will give you some,
don't do that.
highly watermarked copies.
I don't want that. I would only want the real.
Yeah, and that's kind of like
make me a
manual.
Man.
Hesitation is they don't want to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if, and here's 3. So then 3 came out, and they got a little better. I mean, that's definitely like an actual tableized
dot matrix printer.
Yeah.
Threw it into the print shop. Rotorbind print shop made this.
Yep. Oh man, God, I used to make a lot of unnecessary banners in my own.
Yeah. I would always try to make them really inappropriate as a child. So.
But you can see there's no real there's no denoting what map this actually is. It's just maps.
Yeah.
So unless you knew where you were, this is literally just a selection of every level, but nothing is labeled.
That's insane. Which page? That's Tony. That's page 86. Go to page 86.
This is also. mean, these are double-sided, so like you're only seeing,
Oh my God.
right, like these are double-sided pages.
Huh.
So like we're getting towards the end, kind of, right? It's a crazy. I
Yeah,
mean, this is what really I love the most, or a lot of the game counselor stuff, because it's just the time that some of these guys took to just put these together just blows me away.
right.
But I mean, you can see this is probably 30 pages of stuff.
That's not hand drawn, is it?
No, these are all printed out. These are all
Okay.
printed maps, yeah.
Hmm.
But one of the really cool things that I got in that lot that I haven't really made too public yet, but he had this, he's like, the guy was a hoarder. I mean, I'll be honest, like he just kept everything he got, and I was very thankful for that. But he had kept, they used to issue interoffice memos of the Captain N tip line as a printed version. So he gave me essentially the whole documented, typed out like transcript from every weekly tip line that you could call in to listen to the message, for like $1.
Mm.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
really, really crazy because it's like talking with Emerald, and I threw a couple of these. Like I started the series in the e-zine when it was still going. But unfortunately, when that all kind of died out, I stopped. But
Yeah.
But this is just a crazy little piece of history of every week. I mean, it says, right, it's like the Captain Nintendo message, July 2nd to July 8th. And then it's just like the transcripts of the recorded line.
Hmm.
So it's that kind of stuff, man. And just like, I've never seen this before. Yeah, like it was just, luckily I met some guy that kept all of his paperwork from working back in the good old days.
You're doing God's work.
I mean,
you're in God's country.
He thought you were cute and invited you to a van, and
and he just opened my eyes to a whole new world.
I love it, man.
Welcome to Nintendo age.
Yeah. Huh. Well, now I know who to write in my will to take all my paper shit.
Please, I would be honored.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like it's a weird thing, but.
Yeah, I just forgot how to spell your mother's name, so would you just text it to me?
Why? Text her your stuff, dude. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you got. I know you got some stuff hanging around there that you don't want to show, but that's fine.
I don't know. I don't care anymore. I'll show my stuff.
You got some junk.
Show you my junk.
Actually, this is one thing I did want to. I thought this was a pretty interesting. I found this on Etsy of all places one day.
Oh man, Etsy is a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Dude,
I got some Etsy stories.
The only Etsy thing I can ever advise to anybody that's in collecting is don't buy from any Etsy account that was created in the year that you're looking at it.
That's really good advice.
I mean, it's crazy. They're always in Canada, and you'll never receive that great Nintendo Switch that was $100. But so this was a certificate congratulating a gentleman by the name of Randy Morelli on his successful completion of Cultural Diversity Level 1 at Nintendo.
What's diversity?
Being cool with all the people.
And I gave you like the N to say that it's an old wooden ship, but you did not. So
what? I don't know that.
That's from Anchorman. That's okay.
Oh, damn it. No. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, wow. It's not on my regular Will Ferrell list that I watch.
Yeah. Just
So, yeah, it was just like a random list thing, and I don't know.
That's really cool.
Like what
Sorry
I mean,
diminish
no,
that. The minute
no,
you put that up
you're
there, it's
quite all right.
diversity. I just went straight to Anchorman. So mine works in mysterious ways.
It
So
sure does. That's
diversity is not an old one ship, but in that movie it is.
Yeah. But there's a lot of this stuff, like with the counselor binder that I got. It came with essentially like a new hire packet for somebody that worked at Nintendo, and so it would cover all the different aspects of sexual harassment, proper dress attire, like all of these weird. It's like, welcome to Nintendo in I think it's 80. I want to say it's like maybe 91 is the packet date on that, but
yeah, it's not okay to give somebody a back rub at their desk.
I mean, back then it was probably more okay than it is now.
Yeah.
It's totally okay now if I get a back rub while I'm sitting at
yeah. It's only when someone else walks in, you're like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's okay. If I have a sore back and somebody's like, hey, I'm going to rub your back while you're sitting at your desk working, I'll be like, yeah, just right up here. It's really sore.
Right. It's really only a couple places, please.
No. I don't want to make light of that, but that's a really interesting stuff. So
I can't believe you found that on Etsy.
Yeah, so
Etsy can pan out. I'll tell you.
Etsy can pan out. It can also not pan out, and then you can be out $1,500 because people have hacked FedEx and UPS, and they upload phony tracking numbers, and then you have to go through a whole backwards thing because there's a huge issue with uploading tracking to a zip code but not an address, and then UPS won't give you the address it was delivered to, and the PayPal will say, yeah, well, it delivered because it shows it's delivered, and we can't give you your money back because it's delivered. So you have to get PayPal to contact the people at UPS, and they have to have a phone conversation with your local hub, and it takes a month to get $1,500 back. So
what did you buy?
I bought a lot of game off Etsy thinking it was somebody posted it up. It was like believable enough to buy, but and priced in that range, like, yeah, this is a good deal, but not the best deal, but yeah, buy it for that price. And then the dude, like, the Etsy shop was closed. I'm like, what do I do? I don't even know what to do. I call Etsy and they're like, how did you pay? I'm like, oh, I paid through PayPal. And they're like, you can call PayPal. It's their problem.
Yep. Oh man, they peace out real quick.
Etsy sucks for scammers. But I did win Etsy the other day. I got on there, and it is in transit. The guy has a legitimate shop. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it or jinx myself, but it's a sealed game within a system, and it's fantastic, and it was a deal. I think it was a deal.
I tell you what, I found this for $5 on Etsy, and
mine was like $1,200. So
I know. I go for the stuff that they just don't even know, but it's so funny.
Oh man!
And it's the old Sunsoft Mail Away Fester's Quest Guide.
Wow. That's cool.
It was this and some other really cool paper stuff, but the dude was like $10. I'm like, okay.
How about $5? Is what she said.
I was like, do you bundle? Okay, I'm just gonna take all of it.
You're like, that's cool. Etsy's got some deals out there. I know that, but you got to be careful on it.
You really got to be careful.
You got to be careful on eBay. If it seems too good to be true, you probably shouldn't buy it.
I mean,
you got to do your little bit of. You're like, oh, I'm protected by eBay. You are, but you have to do a hell of a lot of work to get your $300 back if somebody is good at scamming you. Like, I did this one on eBay. Hey, I'm like, maybe they have it. It was a Metal Marines, but the guy was in, I want to say the address was Malaysia. I'm like, this looks like a scam, but maybe it's not. But I'm protected by eBay. So I bought it, and I bought it in the evening. And sometime in the middle of the night, the guy goes on like eBay customer service chat and pretends to be me because they logged in as like an anonymous user. And they're like, hey, I bought this item and I want to cancel the transaction. And he was like, oh, why do you want to cancel it? They're like, oh, it didn't arrive. And this happened in a matter of like 24 hours. And they're like, okay, we'll cancel the transaction. And like 2 hours later, he gets back on because it all logs as like a database within my eBay messages. He gets back on. He's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to cancel it. The package showed up, and he uploaded a phony tracking number that was the day before showing that it had delivered. But the auction had ended after that tracking number had delivered. And I went through this whole thing with eBay. I'm like, I don't have the package. They're like, well, you're going to need to do this, escalate it to a claim. I'm like, oh, no, I don't. I bought it yesterday. This guy opened up this thing as a guest on your eBay chat, and they like settled it. They settled this case, so then I couldn't come in and open a case against it. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'd never seen it before. I'm like, this is a really good scam. These people are really good at
went
this.
a mile, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I have to escalate a claim on something that says it was delivered yesterday, but I pay for it a good 24 hours before it, or after it had delivered? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And then the lady was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Okay, you'll get your money back. And then she refunded my money. But
you realize he was in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And it got here in 24 hours.
24 hours.
And I paid for economy shipping.
They don't pay attention. You can log in and say you're this person because they have your information. They have a name that's associated with where it's shipping to.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I'm Joshua Byerly. I didn't get this package. And the customer service person's like, yeah, it looks like it didn't deliver yet. Okay. And then you get back on. They've uploaded tracking at that point. And then they're like, oh, actually it came. I want to close the case. And so then you can't open a case. Like, it's a big loophole. It's fine.
That's pretty.
The moral of the story is maybe buy stuff from other countries than where you are, because scams happen in any country. I guess that's not really a moral story. Just be careful what you buy.
Always, yeah.
Don't be a dumb shit like me.
Yeah, don't.
And think
don't waste
Metal
your money.
Marines for $300 is a good deal. So.
Or just know that, yeah. I mean, like you said, if the deal is too good to be true, vet it out. Because
I think it's
but I think my point is, like, I'm protected to do this, and then they make it a huge loophole to try to get your $300 back. And I'm like, at that point, after I've wasted 2 hours doing this, I'm like, is this worth my time to do this? $300 is $300. And I'm like, I'm a man on principle. I do it for $5, but I'm like, no, I probably wouldn't for $5.
It seems to be automatic these days that, like, when I see that good listing, I immediately scroll down to the seller, and if I see a 0, I don't even think about it. I'm just gone.
I don't do that. I'm like, hit it and quit it.
Maybe, yeah. I'll try to sneak a message in before I see if they respond.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, you guys are sneaking messages in, looking to see.
Yeah, Josh is
I'm
buying.
hitting buy it now, and you guys are like, why did that go away so fast? I'm like, I don't know.
Josh has like a separate credit card. He's like, this is for iffy. This is for secure. We're good. I can fluctuate with some money that's just lost for a month.
American Express got my back. They don't, actually. They don't care. Not yet. They will care. So.
Well,
anyway.
you got to talk to them for a while. But
what time is it there?
It's almost 12. Yeah,
12?
Almost midnight.
Okay, got a couple more hours in you.
I mean, I'm good. I was telling Matt, this is like the time that I do my design work is the best between like 9 and 1. So
that's your second win.
It's just a nice and quiet.
You bought anything recently, Matt, in the last 5 days, 2 days? when did we talk last? 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago. Good finds. Actually, I did. Do you want to go over some finds then?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if you have anything else, Andrew, but man, that Battletoads alone would trump.
I had to sign for a package, but I missed it today, but I'm sure I probably got something here. I got one or two things, but.
I bought this.
Oh, hey, look at that.
From this guy right here. Yeah, this Andrew guy gave me a great deal on this.
What a great
happy because I like this number. I don't know. I like that
number.
Nice.
I like Resident Evil 2 also. So that's a plus.
Wow.
So do you play those games?
Yeah, I do. I crack them out and I play them.
Oh, cool. And then put them back in. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, I just top back on. But I got that Resident Evil 2. Andrew sent it to me.
I was going to ask you if that came yet or not. So
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. Showed up. I don't know what else. Oh, I got another Resident Evil. That's funny. I didn't even mean to do that. I did. I got Resident Evil 2 on Nintendo
nice.
64. But this was a deal. Check out how jacked up that seal is. There's like no plastic on the front.
Oh,
See
yeah.
that?
I got
It's hanging by a thread. It is sealed though. It was $150. Buy it now. I think a CIB is worth $150. I'm like, oh, I'll take it. It's actually pretty nice. Otherwise, it's probably like a 9.2 with C plastic, just crap plastic. But a really nice box.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I don't judge.
Sealed Resident Evil 2 on N64 is not an easy game to find.
I do not keep sealed primarily. I have maybe 3, but my find that I'm super pumped about is this.
Ooh.
Will this work better in there?
Damn,
yeah.
Oh man, we all need another camera.
We all need cameras.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's my phone. It's better quality than my face on a nice Lenovo. So
Lenovo.
Very nice.
So I like CIB.
That is a sick condition game. What is the box rated on? Is it like a 6.0? You have 9.8?
No, it's.
I'm kidding.
Close. It's if you added another little line to it. It's backwards. That's what's freaking me out.
8.0.
It's backwards for you, but we can see it as not backwards.
Yeah,
it's like I moved my hand backward. 8.0 box 9.2 innards.
That's nice.
Not
that
bad.
Is a hard hang cap box to get. So.
Yeah, I mean it was pricey. It was a AGA guy find, but I'm getting there. I only got like 30 left.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll show you this picture. Yeah, Matt, what do you got online there?
I don't have anything like that. I actually have a different realm that I have my Play Choice 10, and I realized I didn't have a lot of I had sold my previous one and I really regretted it. So I got another and I realized I was missing some games. So I got a couple.
You got Shatterhand?
I do not. I'm typically going after stuff that I want to play on there. And my best friend's kids come over and they absolutely love playing it. So I got some fun games. I realized I didn't have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, what?
And for Eric, I'm sure he might watch this at some point, Baseball Stars, because I went to go, he posted his Baseball Stars on his Play Choice, and I was like, oh, I got that. And I was like, oh, I don't have that. What in the world? And then some good old Double Dragon, just so that, because I know the kids, when they come over, they would love to play that. So, but
do you have Mega Man 3?
The guy I got these from actually has that, and I was thinking about grabbing that as well.
I want to play Choice 10. I had one, and I gave it to Matt, and I don't have it now.
Matt, Benny?
Oh, Benny High, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It was a tabletop one. I got it from Curtis. Nice. Maximus Clean, and then he brought it down to me at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo one year, nice. 2000 XX, I don't know. And then Matt helped me, him and his wife Melissa helped me at the booth all weekend, and I was like, here, just have this, take it. I've regretted it ever since. I wish I kept that damn
man
thing.
What a payment. Wow.
Yeah, it needed work, but it was. And I'm like, Matt's the electrical dude that can fix this sort of thing. So
nice. He
took it home. I'm glad he has it, of all people. So I do wish I had one, though. I love Play Choice 10. And that tabletop one is sick. It's so small and nice.
Is it just like the red tent one?
No, it's smaller.
He had the tabletop.
Like it's the size of my iMac that I'm looking at right now. So like the screen. I could carry it. I could pick it up and literally carry it.
Dang, that sounds nice.
Is that an original
like an old stock photo, yeah.
Sears sale?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know if you see this very well, but it's just
Whenever I see those, I'm always looking at the box variants. I'm like, which boxes did they use?
This one's showing a very crude art. It's actually an R. It looks like an R Zelda.
Yeah, that would make sense. Or not. I don't know. What are the other boxes in there? Let's see it again.
It's got
Not
Tyson,
a white.
Punch.
You got an RC Pro-Am. It would make sense that it'd be an R.
Yeah.
So, what's the Tyson? Is it white bullets? Or can you not tell?
Yeah, it's black and white. It looks like they're orange though.
It's
Little clips.
just black and white bullets.
And it's like a nice.
Hmm.
It gets a little tricky with where the light is, but
I had a stack of those at one point. You know, I had a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past one, but I had those too. You sure you didn't get those from me?
I'll never tell.
Yeah. Okay.
I only do because I don't have any. I don't have any like real big sealed. Maybe that X-Men made in Japan. Super
That's a good
efficient,
game.
probably. Seems like only Majesco's come out. So
What do you want for that thing?
I mean, I'm negotiable.
What's the grade on it?
928.
Ow. Let's talk.
You know how to get a rid of me. I got a phone number. It's real.
I want that. I'm kind of haphazardly doing the made in Japan Super Nintendo games, and it's really
Keep
hard.
looking for it. Yeah.
It's really
Well, I was surprised on that one in particular. Like that, every time one pops up, I'm like, oh, there's one, and I'm like, no, it's not one.
no, it's not.
There's some great MIMs out there, but they're all
Mhm.
MIMs. So
Turtles in Time is insane, man. I'm never gonna get that. Not a high grade one. I got
No.
a crappy one, but not nice enough for me to keep. So
I have a picture in my mind, and I enjoy that.
Mhm.
It's about as far as I'm gonna get.
all right. Do you guys have anything else to add? It is missing my local news. It's 11 o'clock.
Do you have
I
any?
like to watch my local news at night.
The only other thing I ever like to go over is if anybody has any losses that because it's sometimes it's boring just going over wins. I know people like to hear some heartbreak stories every now and then. I didn't have any in the last 2 days, I don't think. Oh no, I do have one. I was going to bid on. I'm not even going to say the name of the game, but I
Then
literally
you can't tell us. You can't tell if you
Oh
can't.
come on!
Oh yeah, okay. I know the game.
Of course, because you won it seconds before I clicked buy along with somebody else.
Oh yeah, that game.
So I'm not mentioning the game because I still need it.
Yeah.
But then I text Josh and I'm like, I hate to ask, did you get this? He's just laughing. Anyway,
You know what I do? I just sit here. I'm like, boom, done. See you guys later.
You should at least like
Forget about it.
call him to distract him while you're on your iMac, and then you just like
Yeah.
keep it up.
Text him so he can't hit the button.
No.
So I don't have any losses recently. I mean,
That's good.
I just saved my pennies, and then I'm like, hey, I can afford this today, so I'm gonna buy it today.
It's good.
Sweet.
That's about it. Yeah.
Otherwise,
I'm still waiting for.
I didn't. What's that?
I was going to
I'm
say.
still waiting. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say. I think Andrew actually has the first transaction on NA, but I can't leave him like. I can't leave him like feedback, because we don't have that option yet. Because I'm not that advanced with that format that we built on.
It's a beautiful piece.
Are Narcotics Anonymous?
It is a beautiful. What's that?
Is it Are Narcotics Anonymous or the old Narcotics Anonymous?
It's the old one. It's the old Neo.
Because realistically, Nintendo age, it is, our own drug. So.
I got it.
Yes.
Somebody really wants it. I don't want to put any like pain in your life here, but
Yeah.
Age 5
you hold one of these things, you're like, maybe I'll find another, and then you'll be like, nope, you don't.
I knew when it was gone, it was gone. I was like,
you have Josh will pass my number along to you, Matt, and I'll send you pictures whenever you want.
I won't do that. I'm not gonna do that.
The further it goes up, can I just cry? And
yeah,
thanks.
That's cool stuff.
It's like scrolling an
Black
ex-girlfriend or something.
Yeah, she just keeps coming around at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I did miss out on a Smash Brothers Brawl tonight for $199 because I was buying them before, but that's okay. They were like $50 to $75, and now they're not.
For Wii?
Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. I don't need to buy another one. But I was like, I'll send the guy an offer. I send him an offer, and then 2 minutes later, it's like, this item's gone. I'm like, okay, somebody bought it.
Yeah.
So
I guess I did miss a Minish Cap. It wasn't like recently, but it was like a 500 listing, and it had a nice big sticker on it. But
yeah, that's a good
I
game.
was like, I'll send an offer, and then he countered, and I was like, and then I went to accept, and it was gone.
Wow.
Damn it.
Hey, do you know where these came from? The paper guy.
Oh, it's a movie promo. No, it's
Sticker.
Oh, it's a sticker. No, what's the bottom right say?
Says copyright 1994 UCS.
Universal. Come on.
I don't know.
Some studios, maybe.
It's the weirdest sticker I've ever found.
Yeah, it's for the movie, but
it's probably some comic book or something. I don't know. I have them sitting here. I wanted to ask you. So
yeah, no, I have not seen that one.
Street Fighter stickers. Cool.
It's got to be worth at least $10,000.
I might grade them.
One of a kind.
I like them.
Unsticked.
I'm probably going to stick them on my Nintendo sleeves so I know which Street Fighter game I have.
That was a Saturn game, wasn't it? You can just put it on that one.
Saturn and PlayStation 1. I'll just stick them on the covers.
Oh, it was
My play copies, yeah.
Doesn't have a manual, it's fine. I'm
going to draw a picture of M. Bison on them.
Please. God, I love M. Bison.
A crude version of him.
I was always, Ryu or M. Bison when Super came out.
Yeah, I was always, I don't even remember his name.
Blanca.
How much I love.
Guile.
No, E Honda. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Honda. Yeah.
He would be.
Yeah, I would slap that.
Well, yeah. I always wanted to be Vega, but I just couldn't understand.
Yeah, I love being Vega. You like, we're playing on Vega's level, and I'm going to jump on the fence.
Yeah, I was like, how do you do this?
How do you control this? When you push up, he goes this way. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Hated that level, but yeah. It was a good game. There are probably 15 strategy guides to Street Fighter that are used.
Okay, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Mortal Kombat for me.
Mortal Kombat, yeah, me too. I have good memories on Street Fighter 2 Turbo because that's what we rented. But then we rented Mortal Kombat, like, this game is way better. So. Street Fighter 2 is like your 6 to 10-year-old can figure it out and play it, right?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, you're 6 to 10, and you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I need help.
Well, how come I have to hit back 4 times, then down, then right to get a move?
Supposed to figure this out. This is ridiculous.
While holding BNA at the same time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was Liu Kang, wasn't it? He was
or Shang Tsung when you could change into different players on Mortal Kombat 2. I was like, this is not fair. I can't. My friend was really good at it.
Also, it always kind of surprised me that over the years, the most like different publishers, different anybody, it was Mortal Kombat 2, it was Street Fighter 2, NBA Jam. I mean, there are so many books.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that company, Acclaim, LJN? They made the worst Nintendo games, right? But then they went on to publish those great games. And don't get me wrong, they were not made by those guys, but they published them, right? So maybe that's the history lesson takeaway. Maybe they got into the idea like we should just take other people's stuff and publish it. So
I mean, it was a money grab at the time.
Yeah, those are 3 fantastic games. So
I love NBA Jam.
Oh man,
a personal favorite?
I think when that came out, I played it with a friend at his parents' house one weekend, just nonstop. God, we were like trying to figure out how to get the special characters unlocked, and we were like typing names, and we couldn't get it to work. And we're like, what the hell? We'd hit start, and then it wouldn't work, and we had to reset the system. And like, how do you do this? We had a Game Pro or something, and we're looking up how to do it. And I think we were looking at like maybe it was because it was the Genesis version codes, and we were playing the Super Nintendo one. I don't know, but God, I love those. And then Tournament Edition was good too.
Yeah, it was.
Hit a 5-pointer. That was it.
5-pointer. Wait, what?
Yeah, you could stand on the different point totals would light up on the floor in Tournament Edition. And if you hit one of those and shot from there and it scored, it was 5 points or whatever.
Oh, cheater.
Yeah. I like to cheat. I cheated my way through
Can
Final
you tell
Fantasy.
that yeah. I don't know how to play video games. I just read the book.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then I beat it. Saves me time. It's very efficient.
It's too bad now that we have the internet. It's too easy to just Google it and then beat it right away. And it's like, man, it almost kind of takes that fun out of the challenge of it for me.
It's so much like I played Breath of the Wild and I was using a guide, and it was just like it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
we were playing the Mario, the Super Mario Wii U, but for the Switch, whatever it is, Super Mario U, and we were trying to find one of the coins, my daughter and I, and she's like, just look it up. Just look it up on YouTube. I'm like, no, that's not how you play video games. Like, I'm not going to do that. And then we couldn't find it. And then I did it. And I was like, where's this damn coin?
And, dude, it's that instant gratification, man. We're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Maybe we better call it there.
Yeah, I missed.
Or we could just go another hour and.
Yeah. No, we should do another.
I'm around.
We should do another sode with the AcidJaguar.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that was, man, that was awesome.
That was just a little taste of what can come. But I love to, yeah. Anytime you guys want, I'm around.
Sweet.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
Yeah, it's like, I went this way, and
yeah, I think it'd be fun to do another one and pull some more out and show us what you got.
Sure. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I'm always happy to.
Books.
I mean, it's
yeah, pull some books out.
Keep some nice bananas around for you. But yeah, no, anytime. I mean, there's certainly all different things that I'd love to share with people. I think what I've kind of got is something that I really enjoy sharing with people because it is a different look on the community's agenda. So
that's awesome. I appreciate it a lot because I learned a lot. So sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks everybody for sticking around for this little extended podcast and getting cut off midway. Hopefully I can splice that through so it looks good. If you have any questions, thoughts, or you want to reach out to one of us, what's your Instagram handle, Andrew? If you want to share it, or if you don't.
I am going to change it, so I will leave a comment as soon as I change it back. I'm going to try and get back to my original handle because right now it's Video Game Memoirs, and I will probably change it to AcidJaguar to be more
perfect.
Uniform.
Not sexy redhead 84.
Taken.
Taken.
Just add a couple more digits.
Thank you for thinking I'm younger than I am. I appreciate that.
We'll look for your Instagram update in the comments. If you guys have any thoughts, go ahead and leave them below. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody watching, and look forward to seeing you all next time. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye.
Peace.